Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please put on your prayer chute and prepare for jump.
It's Mercury retrograde. That means it's time for our Soulmart.me Mercury retrograde sale. Like a 1-hour reading with Christopher Witecki, normally $159, retrogrades back to $95.10. Or try a 15-minute psychic look reading with Zen Shoemaker. She retrogrades down to $45 for a 15-minute reading. Or try the Act 3 Orbits Report. And the Jupiter Gets Emotional retrogrades the same to 1111. At Soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement.
Soul Garden.
Namaste, and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your soul story together. And before we dive into your horoscope, I just want to give some gratitude to all those who have donated to soulgarden.tv in the last week. Thank you so much. And for those people who have purchased readings as well. We are continuing the sale. It has helped our situation, and we are very grateful. Also, this is a special horoscope designed to cover the entire 10-day period of before and after the solar eclipse that's coming up, and I'll be talking about that. So this is a special soul horoscope designed to help you through this quantum intention time. So the sun is in sexy Scorpio. We are working on our intimacy, our boundaries, our transformation, and we're working on committing to infinity. That's how serious Scorpios take it. We're going to deal with our core boundaries, and a solar eclipse is going to give us a quantum shift on November 3rd. Now, the moon signs most affected from the eclipse on are Scorpio in the eclipse, then Sag, Capricorn's very affected, and Aquarius is at the end of the week. The moon signs most affected by this, of course, are going to be the Tauruses and Scorpios, Sag and Geminis, Capricorns and Cancers, and Aquarius and Leos. But the orange ones are the moon signs that might go into depression or the dark side based on the fact that it's the anti-sign right now. Now, looking at orbits, man, I want to point out what the solar eclipse is going to do to our chakras. You may not know this, but Scorpio actually rules two chakras, the back of the throat and the front of the solar plexus there. The orange chakra works with Taurus, and that's what gives Scorpio the ability to rule the number 0 and complete a boundary around the soul. So this particular eclipse is going to be a tug-of-war in some senses because of the Earth is going to be located in Taurus, and the sun and moon, of course, in Scorpio. So this really is the creation and death transit, and a very powerful one. And each of your horoscopes, I'll be talking about how you can have some quantum creation in this solar eclipse. Now, looking at the planets, the most compelling thing to me is this Yod, which is a big part of the build-up to the solar eclipse. It's basically God giving us the finger, sacred geometry here, pointing to Uranus to innovate our egos. So in your horoscopes, I'll be talking about how you want to channel these other two parts of yourself, the new boundaries and your aggression, into the evolution of your ego and the evolution of how you act or react in society. Now, this square is still also happening, and it's important for you to know that because the Yod is being affected by the square, which means part of the innovation deals with you have to innovate or revolutionize the rules you subscribe to. And then finally, this black Lilith Grand Trine really reaches its most apex important point. We've been having this trine for weeks. This is our emotional healing underneath the seams of what we're seeing on top of our realities. And ultimately, because of the solar eclipse hitting one corner of the trine, you're going to see this issue carry out in the rest of your life. And I'll be talking about that in the horoscopes as well. Another thing I want to point out, which is really groovy, is actually this. Venus is entering and now conjuncting the galactic center this week. This is where the sun had conjuncted for the Mayan shift, etc. So this means we're going to start sensing some real high cosmic vibrations coming down from the heavens. Another interesting thing here, this is the party, Mercury, Saturn, and the sun in Scorpio. But actually, this whole eclipse is happening in the constellation of Ophiuchus. You've probably heard before that there's a 13th constellation. Well, kind of not so much true. The truth is, this is Ophiuchus here, and this is the Scorpio constellation. But it's not that there's a 13th constellation. It's that they used in the sky one little marker to represent the whole box of Scorpio. And so some astronomers who don't understand astrology assume that because there's extra space there, that we can just fit another constellation there in our zodiac. But the truth is that Scorpio rules the whole quadrant. It's just that Scorpio, in a very hiding way, is hiding in the corner. And that's part of actually the mythology of Scorpio, is that the constellation is, of course, hiding in the Scorpio den, waiting for some victim to fall in there, right? Maybe Ophiuchus. All right, well, that's all I have for now. Let's take the ascension elevator up and see what's going on with you.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Namaste, my friends, Aquarians, innovators, and Aquarius risings. Welcome to 33,000 feet for a bird's eye view of you. And in my little absence there, we changed into the sun in Scorpio, which means you are now focusing on a new part of your life, your career and decision making. And this is a big decision career change. This isn't a little one. This is one that might stick around for like 30 years, depending on what your age is. And at this moment, you are actually deciding what you're not going to be anymore and trying to cut free. That's ultimately what Sun in Scorpio is about. This is also about cutting free from your decision-making policies, like giving yourself the ability to have freedom in your decisions and giving yourself the right to decide what you want. And so just the decision for freedom itself, which is, they say, what Aquarius live by, but the truth is that Aquas and Aqua risings tend to be very agreeable and try to be agreeable with everyone, and they end up trying to fit in for a long time, and then they get uncomfortable and kind of usually, get the hell out of Dodge and take up, just leave all of a sudden. So the real truth is that Aquariuses are stepping into a new dimension. That's the truth. And that's part of the reason why you can't see yet where your career is going. That's because of Pluto in the 12th house for your whole race. You are all going up to the next level now as far as your spiritual connectedness, and you literally cannot see, in my opinion, the next floor yet. And part of that reason is because your job at this point is to let go of this floor, and that means with career and everything, and even decision making as well, to not just be making decisions on this floor. Whatever this is to you, go up, right? So what we're working on this is basically your ability to control your life, which is your career, as we all know, decisions and effectiveness. And we're going to have a solar eclipse this week that's going to really give you back control of your life. And if you go with the flow of the universe, you don't have to freak out or freak anyone else out. But either way, the solar eclipse is going to add so much energy to your freedom to control your life that it's kind of inevitable. That's where everyone's kind of getting pushed in the pool by the universe with this solar eclipse. Now, this horoscope takes place before and after the eclipse. I've changed a little bit for this week. And so we're going to go from making a decision about what you're not all the way to opening up to what you could be in this whole 10-day period, at which time there's a solar eclipse and Mercury is retrograding backwards. So what the retrograde means is, as you are moving forward with what should I do next with my career, or where's my next decision, you're at the same time also going, and what is a good career? So whenever you have a Mercury retrograde, you're like questioning the substance itself and you're questioning where you should go simultaneously, which means there's going to be profound change. That is what opens up like the cosmic portal to go super far. Now the Jupiter in Cancer story, which ultimately is the story for you to change your daily life, okay, which is certainly in concert with career, if you think about it, because if you change your career, you're going to change where you work. But Jupiter is going to retrograde this week, so the universe is going to have no more daily lifestyle to introduce to you after Thursday-ish. So if you're thinking about a change, you best do it. Otherwise, you got to wait for Jupiter direct. Black Lilith, however, which is interesting, that's the part that was holding you up before because you were worried about changing your life. Well, you're going to go way past where Jupiter is with Black Lilith, and you're going to be already like kind of forecasting what it will feel like in the future, even though you're backpedaling as far as the actual change of your life. And that can also be health issues too for people. So in the week leading up to the solar eclipse, which is on the 3rd, the most important date here to notice is Thursday, the stop sign, because at this point you need to make a decision about what you will no longer include in decisions. And what I've been counseling Aquariuses offline in my personal readings has been ultimately, you guys have to make a decision to follow your heart. And Aquas tend to be kind of cold and not very, like, super romantic or super nostalgic or super Disney, because you're Aqua, you're like the cool anti-Disney energy, right? Kind of. And so in that sense, I mean, that would be like John Travolta Grease, which I think was made by Disney, but whatever. At the end of the day, the right decision is the one that your heart wants really in a sappy way. The one that it wants, the decision that brings a tear to your eye, the one that, that makes you embarrassed. So on Thursday, you're going to decide what you don't want. Like, I don't want this, I don't want that. And what should not go into a decision making, well, mom's opinion, or what shouldn't go into a decision should be what the boss thinks or what the company believes. Those are the things that should not go into decision making, right? Because you are a unique crystal, you are an Aquarius. And so ultimately, the only thing you're committing to on Thursday is what you will not commit to, which should be okay, easy pie for Aquas and Aqua Risings. And there's your right. I just wrote you a hall pass. So on Friday, you're going to take action with that. And on Saturday, you're going to love and trust that you've made the right decision moving forward. So that brings us to the eclipse week itself. The eclipse week is November 3rd through the 9th, and the eclipse is on the 3rd. So it's light cast day on the 3rd. The cool thing about it is it's a healing light cast day. It's ruled by Chiron. It's 11 degrees. And so this means the universe is going to restore integrity based on the decisions that you made the week prior. This is why it's important to kind of put these two horoscopes together. So on Sunday, it's a synergy energy of Chiron energy, and this is a super light cast day where it's lined up to where it's a deep punch, it's a huge investment, it's a gift of energy. So the gift of energy is for you to feel strong enough to get out of whatever situations you don't want to be in, to get the hell out of Dodge in that sense when it comes to wrong career decisions. You have some career development still ahead, so don't necessarily look down on the fact that you might be starting over again. Talk to an Aries if you need strength on that one. But at the end of the day, light cast day for you is this huge punch in freedom, freedom to make your own decisions, freedom to be who you are, and basically freedom to do what you're here to do on the planet, which is promote freedom. All right? But let's look at the other states of awareness and how they're being affected. For one, Pluto. This is the big one that I was talking about earlier. Pluto is pushing forward with a new inner faith. And because it's Pluto, I think we're talking here about seeing new colors. We're talking about opening up new chakras. We're talking about wherever you are, you're going up a floor as an Aquarius, and you're going to see more woo-woo and more stuff. And I got to tell you, as a person who's also ascending this way, it's goofy. Neptune at 2 degrees is the part of you where when it comes to your values and money, you just have to listen to your feelings, and I have no other good news for you. Listen to your feelings. Neptune is retrograde, but it's going to go direct. Uranus is the part that is a real tough spot for Aquas and Aqua Risings. This is remaining flexible in your mind, and it's super important that you do remain flexible in your mind and you change the way you think. So if you're going to do something that's routine, like for instance do the laundry, do it differently. You really should just start doing everything differently right now, because it'll keep your mind in a very fresh state of mind. Otherwise, you could trip over yourself. And and with the square and fear of, and whatnot. I mean, the Yod is saying think differently with this. All right. So Saturn, this is where the big pileup is. This is all in the house of career, Saturn and Mercury retrograde. And Saturn is at 13 degrees during the actual eclipse, which is a degree ruled by Aquarius. So this is a Uranian degree, which means that the eclipse is very Uranian, which means that there is something quantum going on and there is foundation being broken, basically. But then Saturn goes to 14 degrees just 2 days later, which means that we are now having actual breakthrough. So you have, that's the breakthrough. The nuclear breakdown is on the eclipse. So this would be breakdown, breakthrough, about your career and with decisions. So the universe is not wasting any time as far as moving forward, right? So, sorry, I'm getting my buttons confused. Now, light cast day, Jupiter's at 20 degrees, and Jupiter is that story of changing your daily life. And so it has pushed Aquariuses and Aquarius risings to changing their daily life to the point of, to the brink of, I don't know if I can handle this anymore. No problem. The universe is going to retrograde Jupiter in just 3 or 4 days, which means you'll have an official break and your lifestyle will stop changing and growing at a rapid rate for about 6 months. So the universe is going to give you a break on that. Again, isn't it interesting? As soon as we have this holy solar light cast day, all these planets start taking off and going on break. It's like Congress of the United States. On Tuesday, this is when things really go nuclear. Mercury is Uranus ruled, the Sun is Uranus ruled, and the Moon is in Sagittarius. So on this day, emotionally, you are feeling your place in the world. You are feeling where you want to go next, and it's that feeling of where you want to go next that I think gives you some sort of nuclear reaction. And so Tuesday might be, and Wednesday might be the day when you actually get where you think you're going next in your career. Now, mind you, up until now, the week before the eclipse, we were talking about what you're not going to be. So the nuclear is ultimately like, I think it's going to be this. And definitely the light bulb goes off by Wednesday. But then again, daily lifestyle, boom, goes retrograde. You must have some sort of like realize it's going to take a while, or you have to wait until the spring. And the butterflies do mean that you feel free on Thursday. You feel free, you feel liberated. You feel like you are a new butterfly in the making, and this is of course based on career ultimately, but it helps you with the inner faith, everything else. So Friday is a Neptune rule day, and so that day is a day where you're going to be intuiting like, okay, where do we really think it's next? Now that we're free, where do we think it's next? And really it's not till Saturday that you decide and go, I think it's going to be this day. Now when the moon moves into Capricorn Thursday and Friday, very private time. The moon is in your subconscious, and it's triggering those faith issues. But on Saturday, you're feeling super strong for the decision, so I wouldn't put any pressure on yourself to know where you're going next until the following work week, because it's not till the end of this week on Saturn Day that I think you're going to be feeling, strong enough. All right? So it's time to jump now. Jump down for our Serious Joy toy, and when we get to the bottom, I will give you a little gift, a new game to play for Serious Joy after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please put on your prayer chute and prepare for jump.
It's Mercury retrograde. That means it's time for our Soulmart.me Mercury retrograde sale. Like a 1-hour reading with Christopher Witecki, normally $159, retrogrades back to $95.10. Or try a 15-minute psychic look reading with Zen Shoemaker. She retrogrades down to $45 for a 15-minute reading. Or try the Act 3 Orbits Report. And the Jupiter Gets Emotional retrogrades the same to 11/11. At Soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement.
Hello, my Aquarians. Welcome back. Hope you had a nice drop. And now it's time for your Serious Joy toy, which is a toy you can play with and something you can think about, or an abstract way to look at your life for the whole week to kind of keep you in the click. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you 2 parts this particular week. The first one is wah, wah, wah. So, I always say Aquariuses are a unique puzzle piece. So you have my official permission this week to escape any puzzle you're not a piece of. Okay? You try to fit your piece in all sorts of different pieces, but like if you aren't a perfect fit, then it's totally okay for you to be out of there. And I know a lot of people who are friends with Aquariuses are going to just be mad at me for saying that, but I have to say that's why you pay me the big bucks, because I can tell you the truth. So you have the right to escape any puzzle piece you're not a piece of. And here's the cool part of it, of the toy. It's time to make a Toy Story. Oops, typo there. And I invite you to make a new Toy Story, so you're no longer this piece of the puzzle. And you're totally invited to go join a rogue toy set. A rogue toy set. So like you're allowed to kind of go be a toy misfit anywhere, but I think you should join another set of toys. Now, I don't think you're going to have to marry these toys or be packaged with them, but I think it's important for sweet, sensitive aquas to know what toy chest they're landing in if they're going to escape any kind of puzzle. And the other thing I think is important is I don't think you should be in another puzzle. I think you should be part of a rogue toy set. Okay? No more trying to figure it out. Something that's just kind of like a bunch of other people like you who are also not sure where they fit in. That's what the aquas need right now. All right, my friends, and you are my friends. I love you very much. I'll see you in 7 days. Until then, good luck with the eclipse and live, love, be.
SoulGarden.tv.
Live, love, be was my phrase, man. I told him when I was in prison.
In prison?
Well, Yeah, well, you know, the fucking establishment, man. The state of California, it's all Nixon run, man. I was in for 25 years.
For medicinal marijuana?
It wasn't medicinal back then, man. They considered it a crime. Welcome to the establishment, kids. For my sacrifice, you can now smoke it up anytime you want. I did the time. You can do the crime.